I'm Pashan Mann. I'm a Vice President of Talent Acquisition at Comcast NBC Universal, and I'm just so excited to be representing Comcast as we talk about our partnership with PYN. We began partnering with PYN in 2004, which is a really, really long time ago, with just three interns that we had working at Comcast. We joined because we knew, Philadelphia is our home and we wanted to engage with the community in an impactful way. And what better way to do that than engaging young people?
Hi, I'm Michelle Masucci, and I'm the Vice President for Research at Temple University. I also am a professor of Geography and Urban Studies, and I direct a research center focused on information and communication technologies and society. I, too, have been working with PYN for almost 2 decades. They were one of my first funders for the center that I direct, and they have been supporting me to be able to support high school students in Philadelphia to learn about information technology skills and the city. My own research interests are in the digital city and in the digital divide. And so I really am keenly concerned about the need of our high school students to gain the skills that are going to help them to navigate the workforce of the future.
Yes, that's so great, and we also partner with each other. Temple is one of our key schools that we hire folks from Temple too. But our partnership with PYN consists of funding internship positions for companies in the area and having interns working directly for Comcast. It's been such a great program, and that is much needed in today's time, as you said, Michelle. We've also provided support for the virtual internship toolkit so that providing tips and best practices for doing a virtual internship for companies and also for students on how to have a successful virtual internship, and then providing digital skills training and programming during the internships for the students during the summer.
We also create internships for our students. And one of the things that really distinguishes those internships is that we try to involve them in problem solving, looking at community issues here in Philadelphia. We infuse that experience with technology skills, but also, of course, as a geographer, I'm very interested in them learning about how to interpret information related to the city and how the city functions. So our students get 1 dose geography, 1 dose digital skills. And what we hope that does is to help them to reimagine their communities and their cities to work for them, not only for now, but for their future. The second thing that we're really interested in is trying to help give our high school students the skills that they need to be successful in a university environment. One of the things that we were very appreciative of is that in the modern workforce, the college education is very critical for many of the students that we teach to be able to get the jobs that they want at the salary that they want with the kind of satisfaction in terms of the experience of that job that this generation of students is so keenly attuned to.
Having a high degree of digital acumen just opens up so many doors for students, from having access to information for school to having the skills to do a lot of the jobs for today. The virtual nature of our lives has really increased technology as a primary form of communication. It's kind of scary for us old folks. It is. I mean, it's everything is being done online through chat, or through social media. It's just very, very different times. So, not only knowing how to use the tools, but understanding the proper etiquette on these platforms is also very, very important now that we're doing everything so virtually.
I really couldn't agree more. I also, have the privilege of working in a university environment where we're at the forefront of innovation, much like your industry and certainly Comcast as well. We get to see how the technology is being developed and how it unfolds almost in real time. So I like to think I learn from the students as much as I try to provide them with some of that experience that helps them to make good judgments in their everyday lives with technology. We also do a lot in our program to try to instill with students a sense of how the use of technologies makes them better citizens. for the kinds of challenges that we're going to be facing, not only now, but into the future in our increasingly connected urban lives and digital world. So everything from civic governance to the way in which you engage with the economy, to the way in which you communicate with families and friends who might be distant. Those are all part of everyday lives that our students really need to understand in order to be successful, not only in the work environment, but also to be able to be connected to the larger society and community to which they belong.
Wow, that's just such a wonderful, it's just such an interesting thought that I don't know if I've personally ever thought of it from that perspective. So that's just so great. You know, when everything shifted to virtual, we did everything this summer as a virtual internship. And it was really cool because these students from PYN were in high school and getting exposure at a level that I probably didn't get until college, if not later. I mean, it's just incredible that they're in high school and they're sitting on a Teams call. We use Teams, and having meetings with executives and everyone else. And so, we also partnered we have a program called Internet Essentials, where we provide low cost internet access and free laptops to young folks, students in the community. And our interns were able to actually take advantage of that. So they did get a personal laptop to bring into the home, and they were able to keep after getting the exposure.
And that's just fascinating, Prashant. And I really think that it's important for industries like Comcast and Comcast specifically to be able to do this, because it's a global and international beacon for technology development and innovation right here in Philadelphia. I really admire that the corporation is willing to be engaged with the needs of our students at the local level. And I really think that makes a difference in their lives because it helps them to see Philadelphia through a different lens. We at Temple University feel very similarly about the important anchor role that our institution plays for our surrounding community and in engaging with high school students in Philadelphia. So I've always considered it to be a tremendous privilege to be able to invite students on campus. And one of the things that's been a very stark change for us in our response to COVID is that bringing students onto campus in person has been, we've been unable to do that during the last 2 years. We found that in the past year, our students gained a tremendous amount of self-efficacy compared to the prior year with the use of digital skills. And I suppose a year of hybrid and at-home learning has really helped them to understand the ins and outs. And what we found this year is that we were just really able to take off with our students and reimagine how they would learn.
When you talk about preparing young people to succeed in tomorrow, in the future, right? And so you're talking about almost an academic setting and learning and being able to really apply that in your home, which is incredible. We're doing the same from tomorrow's individuals in the workforce. So as you know, we're both sitting in our homes, right? And we're working and we're doing work. And so this program really shows them, here's how you work in your home and in a professional manner. This is how you gain career development, how you get exposure to the workplace, how do you accept and receive feedback. I mean, it was really interesting. I actually personally had a PYN intern on my team, and she was on our calls. And so we, asked her, what do you think? You're our future. We really want to hear what you have to say. We have confidence because one of my responsibilities is early career talent hiring. So you're the audience. I want to understand, is this cool? And I was told, no, that's not cool, which is just awesome. And so, giving the students that opportunity to get that exposure in high school, and whether they go on to college or not, to go right into the workplace. And today, they were actually in a real life example of what the future would be like for them. And so it prepares them. It was just really, really incredible.
We look at critically, how is technology shaping the lives of the students with whom we work? And one of the things that we found in our program last year was that it was just a set of wild paradoxes that they were facing. Technology is all around them. They have cell phones and so forth. Mm-hmm. And yet they hadn't really figured out how they were going to be working from home because it was all too new. They didn't necessarily have the desk set up that was going to be the base for where they were going to do their work for the program. They weren't sure how they were going to engage with teams because it was all too new. And we had the same problem with the students who are the staff for this program. Our program involves Temple University students to provide the mentorship of the high school students who are in the program. And so we were simultaneously retraining our own students how to deal with the virtual environment while they in turn were working with the high school interns that are part of the PYN program. And so we sort of found ourselves asking all kinds of questions like, cell phones help us to be connected, and yet we felt like our students were too isolated and sought many ways to try to break that isolation, in a time of COVID.
There's an interesting story that was shared with me from our Internet Essentials team, where they talked about a high school student who was in an AP English class and didn't have good Wi-Fi connection, and her laptop failed on her. And she, for 3 weeks, did all of her homework on her smartphone. And first of all, my heart breaks, which I believe that some of our PYN students can really relate to that story. But secondly, I said, wow, for that person to, by any means necessary, get it done is a characteristic I want for somebody who joins our company. And so being able to be flexible, being able to be agile, being able to communicate with all people from different backgrounds and different ages and different generations, it's in addition to specific skills for a job, we're looking for a whole person, and we're looking for a diversity of skills. And your upbringing, those things that you get, as an example of the story I just gave, are just the types of characteristics and things that we look for when we're hiring folks to Comcast. What about you, Michelle? What would you say are some of the key skills you'd like to see from the students?
I completely agree with you that perseverance is just right at the top of the list of the skills that students need to have. And certainly that was tested dramatically in the past 18 months of their educational experiences. We work towards 21st century skills. That's what PYN, also strives for the workforce for the city and the young people in this city. And of course, critical thinking, which you mentioned, is one of the things that's right on the top of the list of 21st century skills. We, of course, know that digital skills and the use of information is a really important component from a university standpoint, where, the whole purpose of a Research One university like Temple University is to be involved in the creation of knowledge and the dissemination of that knowledge and training the next generation of students to really understand both. And in order to do that in today's learning environment, collaborative skills are really important. Information literacy, media literacy, global awareness is an important 21st century skill. Mm-hmm. And then there's all of the sort of civic literacy and social responsibility component. Mm-hmm. I think that the students of today, and certainly students at Temple University, embrace as central to why they choose Temple and what they seek mm-hmm. in the courses that they take. And so we try to help our high school students who we have with us for the summer get the benefit of the cultural environment that Temple provides as well. And I think that comes through in the fact that our mentors really lavish time over our high school students. Right. I think many of our mentors see themselves in our high school students, in the sense that if they had only had a program like this to be able to connect to, it would have helped them to get connected to their educational requirements and the environment at Temple even sooner. And so I think they view that with a tremendous amount of sense of responsibility to get it right. So all of those to me represent what we look for in our workers. And I think that social connectivity, creating a social safety net for our high school students as well as our college students, is a really big part of what we consider to be the responsible way of dealing with their needs at this time in their lives.
We are so excited and thankful to be a PYN partner to help students improve their digital acumen, and also give them exposure that ultimately could learn to lead to full-time positions. Thank you for the ability to be able to provide students with these opportunities and to partner so greatly with you and your team.
Temple University has been and is thrilled to be a partner with Philadelphia Youth Network, not only this year, but over the past many years. We think Philadelphia Youth Network does a fantastic job of providing resources for Philadelphia's young people to be able to gain work experiences. And we're thrilled that they think that Temple University and educational environments are an important work environment for students to become acquainted with as they pursue their own work and educational dreams. We could not be happier to be a partner, and we wish PYN all the success in the world to accomplish its mission.